Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. On cue, Denny's brings Jaybird a delicious soda.
So kind of you, Denny.
I mean, talk about service.
I mean, my gosh, he's got his own runner boy. His own servant.
It doesn't go down that way, baby.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm making them toast later.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a euphemism
And
for
porridge?
something?
Yeah.
Yes, that means 69.
Yeah, somebody's actually asking here in an email. They said, hey, what are the pros and cons of being on the KVJ show? Well, obviously, one of the pros is you have a runner boy to get you soda to start off every show. That is a pro. Just in your everyday life, what perks do you get in comparison to the things that can be annoying? So how do they balance off? And with everything in life, there is good and bad. Good parts of KVJ and doing what we do. For me, it is, just the opportunities that it brings, able to go out. I think it does help you in relationships. People are more willing. Like, it'd be interesting to see, let's say, for instance, I did get a little bit of a taste of that, when we got shit canned years ago, because, you go from having an influential platform. And for a lot of people, I don't ever take it for granted, but I realize what it is. I have seen people take it for granted and they think that they are bigger than the platform. I'm smarter to know that that's not the case. I get treated certain ways by certain people because I have a radio show on a big radio station.
I mean, Kevin Ralston.
When that goes away, you can very quickly.
They'd be like, who?
You can very quickly see, some of those things eroding. I remember, I think I've told you before, the now very salacious and scandalous Matt Lauer. He was in my graduating class at Ohio University. He'd come back to finish, and he delivered my commencement speech for a degree I never received. And he was talking about how he had been on TV, influential, all this kind of stuff. And I can't remember what it was, between two gigs. But he had said the Christmas before, he received 350 Christmas cards.
Okay.
The year afterwards, when he was unemployed and had been for 6 months, too. So that is, part of the difference that you can see when you are in the media and you are in a place of influence. And then when that platform goes away, and he's probably experiencing a lot of the same thing.
That's significant.
Going on right now. Yes, it was that kind of number where it is very significant. So that's one of the things about the relationships and the opportunities that you get. Tickets are not what you would think. I know a lot of people probably think that that's something amazing. Here and there are some things that you can get, some movie passes. Every now and then, some concert tickets in the nosebleed section, Panthers tickets, things like that tend to happen.
Yeah, I've not really ever done anything with any kind of radio tickets. Maybe the Duran Duran thing.
They're tough, and you have to. It's not like they come in here and be like, guys, here's your ticket stipend. No, it's like you have to go and ask and hunt them down.
May please have some tickets.
Yeah,
you got to beg a little bit.
Yeah, we are not the gatekeepers for tickets here, and so sometimes we get them. We try to justify, be like, hey, that could be content for the show, and we'll give them extra promotion. And so, every now and then, that's a little bit, maybe sometimes if we work it, but yeah, we got to ask and beg for them.
Well, some people think that we've got this magical stash of Universal tickets that we can go into the closet at any point.
We did when I was sleeping with the promotions director.
I mean, Mama, that was a good 10 years ago.
It was. But that's when it was good. You have to be on the inside and the front line that gets the tickets.
Yeah, we were swinging dick for about 2.5 years.
We were.
So was he.
And I think now it's different, too, even than 10 years ago. I think there was just more tickets. I feel like now there's not as many tickets as there used to be.
I feel like there's also more rules now, too.
Yeah.
People are watching everything.
Yeah. there may be.
It was more like lawless and free back then. I was like, yeah, here's 10 Universal tickets. I can remember being given 10 Universal tickets to go to Halloween Horror Nights. That would never happen now.
Wow, that's
It just
crazy.
wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It just
would
it doesn't
not happen.
exist.
No. I think that the last 3 concerts that I went to, I had to buy my own tickets. So, I mean, it's not like you get these perks.
Yeah, I would say probably if I had to boil it down, what is the best thing about being able to do what we do is having the influence of being on the radio show. You are able to work some leverage, and what to me is great is when you can actually do that too, to even help people. It's not necessarily about helping yourself. It's what we do with the Bahamas and Little Smiles and some of that kind of stuff,
and raising $25,000 in a matter of 3 days for a fetal surgery for a baby. I mean, that's real. That's life-changing. Keep your damn tickets.
Yeah, and
I don't want tickets.
Right, and that's one of the things to keep in mind is that, we do have a privilege and a little bit of a power with what we do, but so, don't waste it and don't use it just always on yourself. Every now and then you can do something, but I think our obligation as a majority of the power that we have from doing the show is to be doing it and passing it on to other people. So.
And by the way, too, I talked to Marquis yesterday, the fetal surgery dad.
Yeah.
And Mama's doing great.
Good.
She's on bed rest. She's chilling, and they're just waiting until February. February is the due date. So everybody keep your prayers coming for this sweet baby that is just doing great and growing normal, and everything looks good in utero.
Mm-hmm. The things that are annoying about KVJ, the toughest part, number one, is just the hours that you have to keep. That is tough. So anything that's a weeknight type thing is very difficult to impossible to do.
Yeah, personal life stuff is probably on the con side, at least for me, I would say.
That is probably the toughest part. There's a lot of things that I miss, and I love sports, and so often sporting events are on a Sunday night or Monday night or something like that, and so I never get to watch any of those.
I think, too, on a con level, and you guys could speak more of it than I can, I think it's tough sometimes in relationships.
I think my husband a lot of times comes in last, and I know he feels it, and I kind of see it on his face.
Yeah.
But there's just so much that has to get done.
So that's the con part.
And that's the con part, that at the end of the day, I feel bad that I wasn't a good wife.
See, I don't want to feel bad because there's times where I'll be dating somebody and then I will feel bad because of that feeling. I'm just like, you know what? Let's eliminate me feeling bad and guilty about that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know you and the Queen sometimes struggle with time. I know you've gotten better, though.
Yeah, I've had to readjust here recently. For me, it was giving more time during the week. I used to have an insane schedule. I remember at one point I used to wake up at 12:30, I think. And then I, moved it back to 2, and then it was like 2:30. And still, even then, when I started to get into that was when I was trying to be like, I just need 5 hours of sleep. And I was, on the weekends, I was a zombie, and that was a problem. There was a time we were driving to dinner on Friday night, and the Queen was driving, and I fell asleep. And I woke up in the driveway, and I'm like, what happened to dinner? She's like, I'm not going to sit there at dinner, and you're like nodding off. And so she drove home and went inside pissed. And I'm sleeping in the car in the driveway.
That's fun.
And that was a tough weekend. So that was a tough weekend. And she's like, your audience.
You might have best gone to the Hilton.
Yeah, she's like, your audience gets the best of you and gets all your energy and your focus, and I get shit. I get the worst, I get the leftover, and I get to watch you sleep and then try to recuperate on the weekend just to do it all over again. And so, yeah, there's a little bit of friction that happened. And she's a time person. I know that's the love language thing. The sooner you figure that out in a relationship, the better off you are. Figure out what your hot buttons are with your partner. Because a lot of times your partner will be a pain in the ass maybe about one thing.
Wouldn't it be easy if everyone just sat down with each other and said, this is the shit that gets on my nerves. Yep. Tell me what this shit gets on. Let's be completely honest with each other.
That, too often we try to dance around and try to act like we're perfect. And I'm just so easygoing, but really, shit inside is bothering you. And you just won't say anything about it, and you just hold a grudge, and then all of a sudden your relationship starts to deteriorate because you didn't just up front say some of that stuff.
Wouldn't that make things so much easier? Instead, we play this fucking game where like you're saying, if we dance around it, just be honest, right?
Yeah,
you should be.
Yeah, it took us many years of being together before I'm like going, okay, I gotta readjust things, and so now I'm in a schedule where I just continue working through the day pretty much, and everything I try to do early in the morning, I just go home and quarantine myself and work then, and then I stay up to as late as about probably 8 p.m., and I still try to get a good 7.5 hours. So, I mean, I wake up at 3:30 or something like that now, creeping up even
That's a better time. Honestly,
Yeah.
even on just an energy level, because you're not only you're prepping, but you have to then go on the show and then be a personality.
Yeah, energy's
And waking up really early can take away from that.
Well, I was spending so much energy before the show. So I wake up, I know I need 90 minutes to get ready for the show, and I cram it all in, and bam, here we go. So.
Wake up, jerk it real quick, get
Yep.
down to prepping.
Yep, that's it. So so those are the pros, the cons, and then the other thing too is just coming up with the amount of content. I mentioned that before. If you had to say annoying, it's just the fact that you wrap up a show and then I'm going right home, and then it's okay tomorrow.
Well, you gotta have a great Monday show, and then all right, motherfucker, what do you on Tuesday?
Yeah, most of my Sunday spent getting ready for Monday. So so usually that's the case. So really, the only day you have to kind of like chill and not think about it is Saturday. So there you go, answering that question. Let me see a couple other comments here. One, Christopher had sent this in, said, I had a comment on the AirPod discussion today. We're talking about the crazy Christmas gifts, and we're doing Black Friday shopping, and we had gone into Nordstrom, and I heard my daughter Caitlin, she's like, they had like the coolest strap in there for your AirPods. She's like, it's only $60. And I was like,
wait a minute.
see, I don't fully. My daughter and I, I love her to death.
But it's a struggle.
She's my baby girl because we really don't see the world the same way. We do not live in the same rational concepts. What I see to be sane and, just the standard way of living, she just can't relate to, and vice versa.
You guys don't see eye to beady eye.
We do not. We do not. So when she talks about a $60 strap for your AirPods, I'm like, I don't want to say anything, and I don't say anything. I used to say a lot of things to Caitlin all the time, and our relationship got very splintered for a while.
Like luxury kind of stuff?
It would just be, I kind of learned, and, I started to realize that because I had that with my mom. My mom was always volunteering her opinions on things, and that kind of pushed me away. And so when I was coaching Caitlin in softball, I realized, okay, I'm not going to break through to her. I don't know. I still really don't know how to make an impactful comment to her. So a lot of times I just bite my tongue.
Because she's not going to hear what you say anyway.
Exactly. And it was just splintering our relationship. And it was getting to the point like we wouldn't talk to each other because, softball, I was just like, I didn't believe in the way she handled things.
Was that more when you were coaching, or did you do that even when you weren't coaching? You'd kind of say things to her?
Probably a little bit of both, but I came to that realization with coaching. I realized, one, I couldn't coach her because it just wouldn't work. My thought process on how to do things. I'm a very disciplined, structured, organized.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The first fucking softball practice with Kevin, I almost left because Kevin, you're giving me anxiety. It was so organized and so structured. It was like a booklet. I'm like, oh man, they're 9.
Yeah. And I did, later on, I mellowed out and tried to make it a little bit more fun, less structured, but still kind of getting through to it. But
I had fun doing that. I'm just busting your balls.
Oh yeah, no, but see, like I said,
Your softballs.
Yeah,
that's kind of my process on things. So we got to the point we weren't talking, and I had to just kind of like lighten up. So I heard Caitlin talking about this AirPod strap for $60, and I'm aware of the price of the AirPods. I think I saw like the latest ones are almost like $200, something like that.
Yeah, there's new fancy ones that are like pro. The next level is like crazy expensive. Yeah.
I've got the I don't even know what you call them. I got the pods. Mine have a cord. So I still have
those are earbuds.
Earbuds. Okay, so I have earbuds, and they have a cord.
The pods don't have a cord. The buds do.
And mine are fine and functional. I understand why you would want an air. So, hey, if you have them, I'm not going to knock it. That's okay. That's good. And I would love to have mine, so I won't pay the price for them. So I have the one that has the cord. And so when she started talking about how she wanted a strap for an extra $60, I'm like, okay, so you pay $200, probably a good like $150 more than the ones I'm using. And then you're going to pay an additional $60. I see $210 there that's completely unnecessary to get exactly what I have. You see what I'm saying? So, but that's dad logic.
Right.
And I'm not getting this. And so Christopher had a response to that. Said I had a comment on the AirPod discussion. I didn't get to hear any comments other than the initial question about the dad moment and how it's ridiculous to want to buy a $60 strap for $200 AirPods. I'm sure there's a cheaper strap out there to protect people from losing their AirPods. But I see this concept similar to the idea of buying a $60 case for your $400 iPhone. That makes sense. But maybe look for a more reasonable strap that still looks cool online. I think he's saying so that you don't lose them. To me, what I would do, and my rational thought on this is, they have the cases, and you could maybe have for your AirPod case, put that, something around your neck. And I know the newer iPhones have a case right attached to the phone. To me, if it's not in my ear, it would be in the case, exactly where I know where it is.
I don't do well with the little earbuds and the stuff that you do. I'm more of I like the ear muffin kind, like the kind that are like shaped like a muffin.
You like an actual muffin.
I like the big kind that cover up my ears that look like the ones I got on right now. The ones inside my eardrums, they're always falling out. How do you get them to stick in there?
Well, they're working on the technology of them. That's one of the things they say about the new AirPods is that they're designed to be able to wear them all day long. And like my son Cannon, who's 11, he always has an AirPod sticking out of his ear. And so they're supposed to be designed more comfortable now. So they're really working on that you can wear them all day long and apparently not even feel them.
If I do the earbuds and I'm walking chewy, they get tangled with the leash and they fall out. The ear muffins, I can walk into a fucking tree and they still stay on my head.
And you have.
Many a times. I've walked into so many trees.
I've watched you. I watched you talking to Kevin walk into a light pole one time.
I'm clumsy. There's no news flash. We get it.
I wish I had a video going.
Yeah, so that was kind of like my just whole question is, and that's why I'd sit there and be like, okay, cool. That's just what she's doing. You do you, girl. That's it.
And plus, you're now at an age, and she's at an age where, unless she comes to you for advice, I'd imagine you're not going to be prying too much. Caitlin.
Yeah, she's 21, so she kind of like, I just kind of like say where it's like, I'm here. If you want to sit down and talk, then you can come talk to Dad anytime you want. Open door policy. And if you ever want my advice, I'm here for it. If not, I'm not going to volunteer for it. So it's all good. That's it.
Dad will be over here in the corner drinking.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, Kev, the AirPods are actually $249 plus tax.
Ouch.
That's crazy.
And now some of them come with a charging station box, and some of them don't. So
Yeah,
you
I think
add
that's
on more for that.
Yeah, I think they had those anyway. Because my son Cannon's always walking around with the little box thing they has, but I think that box now is attached to the new phones.
Okay.
So it's right on there.
It's also about having the logo.
Right.
It's not even about the convenience of having
an accessory.
Yeah, it really is.
Mm-hmm. Talking about your technology, the world's first fly and drive car was unveiled last night in Miami.
How many people died?
That wasn't part of the story. I don't know.
I don't think it took flight, did it?
It's the Pioneer Personal Air Landing Vehicle, or PAL-V. It was shown off at the pre-grand opening for the art exhibit, Paramount, the Art of Innovation and Design. It's part of the 30th Annual Miami Art Week. That's kicking off. Art Basel is kicking off this weekend.
They just had it in a building, and they had it like sitting there, and some guy was like opening the doors and saying, "Oh, look at this."
Got ya.
It wasn't actually flying. Now, that'd have been cool.
Yeah, it's just this is going to be a big weekend of Miami Sobe parties. You're going to have all your Paris Hiltons and everybody's going to be in town doing all that stuff, the DJ things. And
That's hot.
yeah, all that stuff. They're going to be walking around looking at art. I love art.
Gosh, that sounds so not fun for me.
Expensive parties, lots of money, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm an
it's a
Ale
big
House kinda
weekend in
guy.
Miami. Yeah, it's going to be held at the Paramount Miami World Center. That's the one that has the skyport. They're building it on top of the building. So eventually, if flying cars are all over downtown Miami, which what a disaster.
Oh, my gosh.
That's
Could
going
you
to be-
imagine?
Yeah, they already have one built. So when they start becoming standard, then you can just fly it right to the airport.
Would you like to fast forward 100 years just to see, just for an hour, just to see what the world is like? Or would that,
Nope.
would that freak you out too much knowing where we're going?
I have no desire
Do you think
whatsoever.
in 100 years, are there flying cars everywhere?
Could be, but I don't want to wake up and get hit by one.
Do you think in 100 years the world is drastically different than it is right now?
Yes. I think because it's going to have to be. I think that we're kind of starting to hit one of those tipping points where something radically has got to change in what we do.
I think you're right. I think everything's just changing.
We're not going to have a choice.
so quickly.
Yeah.
Especially with technology. I mean, it's really moving things along real quick.
It's hard to keep up.
It is.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have that like, oh crap, wow.
Holy fuck, the robots are finally taking over, and we are 100 years from now we're in an inner robotic war. Mm-hmm. Inner robotic?
What?
Inner robotic? Does that make sense? Nah, you know what I meant. Robots versus humans.
Robots versus us.
Yes, us versus them.
That's scary.
Another techie thing, the Trump administration intends to propose a new regulation that would require all travelers, including U.S. citizens, to be photographed when entering or leaving the U.S. For Homeland Security, they contend that the face scan requirement would combat the fraudulent use of U.S. travel documents and aid in identifying criminals and suspected terrorists. But people like the ACLU are coming out against the plan, which says that travelers, including U.S. citizens, should not have to submit to invasive biometric scans simply as a condition of exercising their constitutional right to travel.
Same thing happened to me that happened to you. I've never, ever been pulled aside like this before. I did nothing different. They pulled me aside, and it was coming back from New Jersey. They put me on the side. They frisked me extra, like they did with you.
Did they touch your nethers?
They got pretty close. They didn't touch my dong or anything, but they were up in my upper thighs, and they did extra check me, and that never happens. And it reminded me of the last time you've flown.
Mine got aggressive. I got the full-on like vagina punch.
And then they're kind of being assholes because they kind of throw you to the side. You don't really know what's going on. So when they're done and they don't say anything, you're like, okay,
what just happened?
What the fuck? Do I tap dance now? What do I do, guys? And then they have an attitude. God, make a right.
Go that way.
Go that way. Yeah, like fuck you.
They talk to a lot of people like they're stupid. And I was watching this when I was traveling to visit my mom in San Antonio. Most people don't travel a lot. Most people are not in the TSA line on a regular basis. You can look at the crowd and you can tell the people that travel a lot and the people that don't. Most people don't. But they are so quick to yell at the people that don't know where to stand or where to go or where to put their stuff in the bin. Like, there's no manual that tells you how to do that. Well, if you don't travel a lot, you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, you're right.
They need to be less mean to people and more understanding of like, okay, these people don't come through here every day.
Well, especially for someone like me, it's been A, B, and C everywhere I've gone. Now, all of a sudden, there's this D factor. They're doing something different. For me, I'm like, do I have a fucking grenade on? What's going on
Don't
here?
say that, by the way.
No, I would. Yeah.
Do not say,
well, I got a grenade on me or what?
You'll be in a longer meeting.
You're right. Thank God I didn't say that.
Really get pulled apart. You'd be strip searched.
Oh, you're right.
Cavity searched.
I could see myself being real tired just saying that comment. Just
well, I got a fucking grenade.
Look, I got a fucking grenade on me. Tackle him.
Code red. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It can turn around quick.
Yeah, they really could. They really could. So yeah, that's something I personally, I don't see it any different than just an accurate passport. Maybe I don't fully understand the situation, but I mean, yeah, if they need to get a photo of you before you...
I got no problem with any of that. I mean, I kind of see what the ACLU is saying, and I get all that. But if it makes us safer by all of us just letting them take a picture of our face, I don't have anything to hide. Yeah. So take a picture of my face. I don't care. Like, until you tell me that there's some shady stuff going on with that picture of my face, I do trust them to a certain extent. And I think we have to keep all of us safer. We have to trust somebody, guys.
Yeah. Well, without them giving me a specific reason why we can't, I'm not seeing it yet.
What happened to your credo, your mission statement? Trust nobody.
Well, that comes to dating.
I kind of agree with you.
I think when it comes to Homeland Security, we got to trust somebody to keep us safe. And if taking all of our pictures is going to help.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't got nothing to hide. Take a picture of this old-ass face.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I guess it's how much do you trust your government?
Old ass face.
The only thing I'd be worried is if on the scan you can tell how much Botox I have in it.
Is that your makeup line? Old ass face?
Yeah. Take a picture. I don't care.
I think you were asking me how well The Mandalorian was doing, Jay Bird, if I had numbers on that. Finally saw some stats on how the Star Wars show on Disney Plus is doing. It is the most in-demand TV show in the world just 3 weeks after release.
They've had 4 episodes.
Wow.
The last episode, the 4th one, was not my favorite out of the 4.
Okay.
But it's still very, very good.
Business Insider revealed that The Mandalorian was 31.9 times more in demand than the average show. Those numbers beat previous ones by Game of Thrones, The Crown, Stranger Things. Just to compare, Stranger Things had previously held the top streaming title in the U.S. for 21 weeks.
Yeah, it's really, really good. If you're into that stuff and you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to love The Mandalorian. You're going to love it.
So apparently they can't get accurate numbers and compare ratings basically wise. So The Mandalorian is bigger than where Stranger Things was. And I've heard great things about that third season of Stranger Things.
I have too, man.
Everybody talks about Stranger Things.
I know. Adults, kids alike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Big stuff. Got a suggestion here, too, for a show. James from Stewart said, Jaybird, I don't know, a couple days ago I was looking through Netflix and I came across a series called The Toys That Made Us.
I have binge-watched it. I love it. It's such a cozy program. If you want to just lay back and not think about anything heavy and go down memory lane, it's an ultimate cozy show.
2 seasons, 4 episodes. Each of the toys we loved growing up and how they came about.
G.I. Joe, Star Wars, My Little Pony. They got Legos on there.
The stories behind the scenes are amazing. They have the story of the Ninja Turtles, He-Man, Transformers, and G.I. Joe.
Me and Denny's just watched the Ninja Turtle one. And I wasn't a huge Ninja Turtle fan. I didn't collect the figures at all. And it was so interesting.
Yeah.
It's so competitive to hear these stories. So many of these stories, they'll be interviewing 4 or 5 people, and 2 of the ones will say they had the idea over the other one. Oh, no,
we had a karate turtle. Oh, we had a ninja turtle.
Yeah, oh, no, I created Snake Eyes.
We had a kung fu turtle.
Exactly. It's so fun. Just like in music or even in radio, people are always trying to get their ideas out there.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating stuff. Appreciate the email here. Got Amanda from Port St. Lucie. She sent me some info about the keto diet. The whole point of it is getting into what they call a state of ketosis. That's where your body is apparently using the bad fat that you don't like to see in the mirror as a fuel source. That's what keto is all about, and ketosis. And so they have these testing strips, a urinalysis test that shows the level of ketones in the body. With the test, you'll know for sure if you're in ketosis or not.
Ooh.
So how long does it
Can we get you to pee on the stick?
I don't have the strips in front of me, but they're only like $8. You could get them, and yeah, I could try them.
How long does it take for ketosis to actually? How long does it take for it to actually kick in?
I think it's.
I saw it coming.
Yeah.
Because he perked up. I'm like, why the fuck do you care about keto?
Why does he care about keto?
He just ate 3 plates of French toast.
He's definitely not in a state of ketosis. Yeah, you keep your pee to yourself.
I'm in full state ketosis.
She is in ketosis. Yeah, if anybody wants to know, I did ask my trainer about that yesterday, and he said, yeah, he was kind of like, yeah, they're okay. He's aware of them. He said the blood test is better and more accurate.
All right, well, I can take your blood, too.
No, you can, yes.
No, I cannot.
I could take your giving Chewy all those
Not a
shots
chance.
now. I know how to give. I could
chance.
stick you real good.
Giving a shot and taking blood are different.
But I could do it. I could watch a YouTube.
You hit a vein?
I could get a vein. Oh yeah, without pain.
I feel like I could do it better than Jay Bird because I have tiny veins and they're low. And so I've learned a lot over the years about how to get in my veins. And I think Kevin's got bigger veins than me. I think I could get in your veins.
They had to shoot me 7 different times because I was so dehydrated.
Ooh.
I know about veins.
Okay, you want to have a vein off?
Kind of do.
All right, Kevin, both of us get to stick you.
Who do honestly?
Nobody's sticking me.
I know no one's gonna stick you, but who would you trust more? I am real good with a needle these days.
I've actually stuck you, Kevin.
You did?
Haven't I?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Maybe I stuck my husband.
She's giving so many needles to people. She can't keep it straight.
I did a lot of his testosterone shots. I thought I did yours, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah, I'd probably have Virginia do it if I had to do either one, but I don't feel good about it.
Okay, what about a tetanus shot?
Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
Dog. I do my dog all the time.
What about?
I do my dog.
What about a Jameson shot?
With you know what?
Bird.
Fuck this convo. I'm out.
There you go. So thank you for the heads up on that. But yeah, some people are like just texting you right now said the urine strips are not very accurate. So.
Oh, you know what? They had urine strips too. Not urine strips. They had breast milk strips where you could squeeze your breast milk onto the strip and it would tell you if you had alcohol in your breast milk or not.
Oh, yeah.
And those things were not accurate because I tested them out. I did the work.
You were hammered. It said she was not.
Exactly. They always said the same thing, the same reading, regardless of the level of alcohol that I had in my system. So I was like, these things are BS.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, like, what tests you take are actually accurate or not.
They could all be inaccurate. There's so many things that could go wrong. The test itself could be expired.
Those drug tests you buy over the counter, those aren't accurate either. Those fucking things are not accurate.
What about pregnancy tests?
Oh, you hope that
Don't they say they're like
accurate.
99% accurate or something like that?
They said the same thing about drug tests too, and that's a lie. It's 99% a lie.
The scariest thing would be, you took a pregnancy test and it said negative and you were really pregnant.
And then you
didn't know. You're like, woohoo, I'm going out partying.
Right, yeah.
I'm a drink.
I'm sure you will get an email of somebody that has that story.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, some crazy stuff.
Life is scary, bro.
It is.
And then you die.
Happy Wednesday.
Yep. All right. This After the Show podcast being brought to you by Bud's Chicken and Seafood and their amazing chicken fingers.
Can I make a note to let everybody know Weird and Whatever's back tonight at 6 o'clock?
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of podcast action you got going on from KVJ today.
Woohoo.
So go and check all that out. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.